Hello everyone. Today's math challenge looks frightening because of the nested square root that we have here. But we shall be learning one simple trick which will make the equation more easier for us. Now here's the question before us, which says the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 equals 125 raised to the power of x. And the question says we should find the value of x. Before we start solving, I want us to notice that the number on the right side here is 125. So 125 can also be rewritten as 5 cubed. That is 5 times 5 times 5. Now let's rewrite everything here in the powers of 5. So we have the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 equals 5 raised to the power of 3 or 5 cubed. The next thing is, let's simplify the innermost square root that we have here, which is the square root of 5. Let's write it as an exponent, that is, the square root of 5 equals 5 raised to the power of half. Let's multiply it by the 5 inside, so which will give us 5 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of half, that is 5 raised to the power of 1 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of half. Let's add the exponent numbers together. So we have 1 plus half. Ordinary 1 standing on its own has an invisible 1 below it. So let's find the denominator, which is 2. 1 into 2, 2 times 1, 2, plus 2 into 1, 1 times 1, 1. So we have our exponent as 3 over 2. That means 5 raised to power 1 multiplied by 5 raised to power 1 over 2 will give us 5 raised to the power 3 over 2. Now let's take the square root. So we have this as square root of 5 raised to the power of 3 over 2. Remember that taking a square root is the same thing as raising something to the power of half, which means square root of a equals a raised to the power of half, or 1 over 2. Therefore, square root of 5 raised to the power of 3 over 2 will give us 5 raised to the power of 3 over 2 raised to the power of half. Using our exponent rule, let's multiply the two exponents together. So we have 3 divided by 2 multiplied by 1 divided by 2. 3 times 1, 3. 2 times 2, 4. So we have our exponent as 3 over 4. So 5 raised to the power of 3 over 2 to the power of 1 over 2 will give us 5 raised to the power of 3 over 4. Now we are through with the two square roots, remaining the last square root. Now our expression becomes square root of 5 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 3 over 4. Now let's simplify the inner number, that is, we want to simplify 5 times 5 raised to the power of 3 over 4. Let's bring them out. So we have 5 times 5 raised to the power of 3 over 4. That is 5 raised to the power of 1 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 3 over 4. Using our exponent rule, let's add the two exponents together, which will give us 1 plus 3 over 4. Ordinary one has an invisible 1 below it. So let's add up. Our denominator is 4. 1 in 4, 4. 4 times 1 will give us 4. Plus 4 in 4, 1. 1 times 3, 3. 4 plus 3, 7. 7 divided by 4. So our exponent is now 7 divided by 4. 5 raised to the power of 1 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 3 over 4 will give us 5 raised to the power of 7 over 4. Now let's put the square root, which will give us square root of 5 raised to the power of 7 over 4. Remember that taking the square root is also the same thing as raising something to the power of half. For example, square root of a equals a raised to the power of half. Therefore, square root of 5 raised to the power of 7 over 4 equals 5 raised to the power of 7 over 4 raised to the power of half. Let's multiply the exponent using our exponent rule. So 7 divided by 4 multiplied by 1 over 2. 7 times 1 will give us 7. 4 times 2 will give us 8. So by the time we are done with the multiplication of the exponent, we got 7 over 8 as our exponent. That means 5 raised to the power of 7 over 4 raised to the power of 1 over 2 equals 5 raised to the power of 7 over 8. That means our left side, which is the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5, gave us 5 raised to the power of 7 over 8. Next is we are simplifying the right side, which is 125 raised to the power of x. Our question again says square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 equals 125 raised to the power of x. We are done with the calculation of the left hand side. So we are moving to the right hand side, which is 125 raised to the power of x. Let's rewrite 125. So 125 can be rewritten as 5 cubed. Therefore, 125 raised to the power of x equals 5 raised to the power of 3 to the power of x, which will give us 5 raised to the power of 3x. Now our equation becomes 5 raised to the power of 7 over 8, which was what we got when we were done with the calculation on the left side, equals 5 raised to the power of 3x, the calculation of the right side. Now let's compare the exponent. Since the bases are the same, their exponents must also be equal. So 3x equals 7 over 8. Now let's divide both sides by 3. That is 3x divided by 3, 7 over 8 divided by 3. 3 cancel 3. So our x equals 7 over 8 over 3. Using the KCF rule, that is keep, change and flip rule, 7/8/3 will give us 7/8 times 1/3, because ordinary 3 standing has an invisible 1 beneath. So 7/8 we are keeping, then the division sign we are changing to multiplication, while we shall be flipping the 3/1. By the time we flip, this will turn to 1/3. So we are keeping the 7/8 which we have here, change this to multiplication and flip this to 1/3. So at the end of the day, 7 divided by 8 multiplied by 1 divided by 3 will give us 7/24. Therefore, our x equals 7/24, which is correct. Now let's verify if our x truly is 7/24. Our question again says square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 equals 125 raised to the power of x. When we calculated this, we got 5 raised to the power of 7/8. Now let's use the result on the right side to confirm if our x is truly 7/24. So we have 125 raised to the power of x, that is 125 raised to the power of 7/24. Let's rewrite our 125, which will give us 5 raised to the power of 3 raised to the power of 7/24. The next thing is, let's multiply the two exponents. So we have 3/1 multiplied by 7/24. 3 in 3, 1. 3 in 24, 8. So we have it as what? 1 times 7, 7. 1 times 8, 8. Can you see now that at the end of the day, we got 5 raised to the power 7/8 on the left side, and also 5 raised to the power of 7/8 on the right side, meaning both sides are now identical. Therefore, our x equals 5 raised to the power 7/8. So this is our x now. X is 5 raised to the power 7/8, which is our final and correct answer. Thank you for watching. Kindly like this video, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to turn on your notifications for more math challenges.